Hello everybody and welcome to another plant video. This one is about the plant Cuban oregano. So the Cuban oregano, its Latin name is Coleus amboinicus, and it's also known as Indian borage. And this is a perennial succulent. It being perennial, I will note that it is kind of frost tender, so we have lost them before because they've gotten too cold. It is something you want to either bring inside or keep warm during the winter. But so long as you do that, it is perennial and it will continue to grow throughout the year. And I suppose being it's a succulent, it does seem like succulents are a very popular house plant that a lot of people like these days. But the Cuban oregano apparently is a house plant that a lot of people do grow in certain places. You can plant it outdoors. I'll show you where I've got it in a spot in the garden, but as I said, it does need some protection during the winter, if that's the case, but otherwise it thrives outdoors in the warm season. Another thing to note about its growth too is it does like sun, but not too much. It does like having a little bit of partial shade. The too much sun can start to burn the leaves off a little bit, so like this guy here, you can see it's gotten a little bit of some yellow. Now that I don't know if it's the sun, it might be getting a little overwatered too. But anyway, here are a few plants we have. This one, as you can see, it was in a hanging basket before that. We'd gotten this plant from a friend, though we were not hanging this plant up decoratively. I guess people do like it a little bit, or because it trails a little bit, so it does make for a good plant to use in a hanging basket. Oh, and just so you know, the other plant in here is a milkweed. I think someone had just put a cutting of that into the pot here, but yeah, if anyone was wondering what that is, that's a milkweed plant. Good for bees and butterflies. I don't know that I've ever actually seen ours get the flowers before. They say that those can be like white or pink or lavender colored. And the plants at their full height get about 12 to 18 inches tall. Again, I don't know that we've gotten that to quite get that high, being, like I said, we take ours in during the winter and everything. So I think in more tropical regions where people are growing them, the plants would get a lot bigger because they have a longer growing season. And another thing to note is this plant is also part of the mint and dead nettle family. So even though it's a succulent, I wasn't able to find a ton on its medicinal purposes. I guess traditionally respiratory and throat infections, rheumatism, constipation, possibly some other stomach ailment. And I guess traditionally it's also used to stimulate lactation. And they did say they are studying it for other uses like wound healing and a few other things, but you know, nothing conclusive yet. So I don't know as far as all the medicinal uses. And some people say it definitely can be used, I mean, hence its name, Cuban oregano. It is similar to that plant in some ways. But in culinary use, I was able to find more about it. The one caution about it is that it's definitely going to be stronger than like your Greek or Italian oregano that you'd typically use. So you could, for instance, use this as a replacement when you're cooking for some of your, you know, Italian cooking, but you would definitely want to use less of this until you know what strength you like from it. But yeah, it also seems like in Caribbean and Indian cooking, they use it a lot there. It was kind of fascinating actually, because they are also used because the leaves are nice and thick. Apparently in some of the cooking, they'll make like some kind of fritters where they'll like dip them in batter. And then there was an interesting like Indian recipe that was like some like traditional like savory yogurt based drink that they'd add like cumin and coconut, chilies, and then the Cuban oregano would go in there. So that was kind of an intriguing thing I'd never heard of before, but it's apparently a traditional Indian recipe. So apparently in the culinary world, there's a lot of usages for it. So if that's something that also interests you about it, I would say research that a little bit more, because you can probably find more recipes and things out there about how to use that in some of the more traditional ways. And this one also, you can very easily make cuttings off of, because like right here I was looking, this one definitely got overwatered because see it's kind of rotting out here, but I'm going to clip those off because this part of the stem is still good, so I think I can make more cuttings out of it. We can get more off of this plant here too. And down there, underneath here, here is the Cuban oregano that's in the ground. So these plants actually, this was from cuttings I made, so I literally cut them off of the mother plant over there and just stuck them in the ground and just make sure they stayed watered. So yeah, these were some cuttings. And I'm probably going to be moving these guys into a pot to go in the greenhouse for the winter. But I think for now they're happy in the ground. But yeah, so that's, I think, concluding my video on the Cuban oregano. Definitely research this plant more if this is one you find of interest. I certainly enjoyed learning more about it. So until next time.